Welcome, everyone, to our first interview of 2021. And I'm so thrilled to bring in our special guest today. And I had the honor in actually watching an amazing show that he has created just a few weeks ago. And it also featured another friend of mine, Rebecca Selly, that I interviewed here at Uncensored and Real. So I'm going to bring in Richard and we're going to have a talk about just being a creator. His show is just so exhilarating to watch. It is nothing but entertaining, and it is just a fun-filled night at the venue as well. So the Cabaret show is called Ooh La La, and I'm just so thrilled to bring him in and just talk about the process and also his background as a performing artist. Because actually, the last time I saw Richard was we just talked about this a few weeks ago, was the fact that we actually did a gig together, and then he took off and moved overseas to LA, and he was there for quite some time, and then has come home and has put this show together and is now sharing it with you all. So I do hope that you all go and see the show and support live entertainment because it's just so thrilling. So for now, I'm going to bring him in and we're going to have a great chat. There
Hello.
we go. I can
Hello.
see you and hear you now.
Hello.
How are you, lovely?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. I'm well. I'm going to get started and just get you to basically just give everyone a background of like how you started as an artist, your training or, shows, anything you like to throw at us. Just give us a good background on you.
Gosh, okay.
I know it's a lot.
Actually didn't yeah. I actually didn't start in dance. Well, I feel like I've always been, a performer and a dancer, and my journey really started in front of the TV. I feel like that was the story for a lot of us growing up in the 80s. It was like we saw things like video hits
Yeah.
and like, that access to, the artists just in that time. So like you'd really look forward to those moments, where you'd run towards the TV and all of the, I just have a lot of memories, like watching Thriller. And then my mom said, I was about 2 years old and I would like run behind the couch when all the zombies come out. But then, when the dance breaks happen, I would run forward and do all the dance breaks and then hide behind the couch again
Oh,
for the
how
zombies.
wonderful.
Yeah. So I know. So I guess like I guess, that was my first introduction to dance. I loved dancing then and singing. I mean, I've always been singing from a young age as well. And then yeah, I started in sports acrobatics, and that also has elements of dance in it too. So it was kind of my thing, and dance kind of was still my love, but I would just still kind of just learn things off the TV, or I'd record it on a VHS, if anybody knows what that
Yes.
is. I know you know what that is, but some people don't. And so recording on the VHS, like my favorite music videos, so I could learn the choreography. Was just like a hobby of mine, a fun hobby, because I just love it, and
Yeah.
just feel myself on that stage, and connecting with that audience, and just dancing in my living room.
Yeah, no, it's all about the
Yeah,
visualization, isn't it? It's like that's what we always have, and we can
yeah,
always work off that.
yeah, absolutely. That visualization. I'll say it definitely impacted my career later in my life, because fast forward later, I ended up working with a lot of these choreographers, which is a very surreal experience for me, but also like in reflection was like, wow, manifestation. Like it's
Oh,
powerful and a real thing,
absolutely.
especially when you're younger. Especially, yeah, when you're younger, like that attention and like passion is so strong,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I always remember those times and go, wow, like, that's exactly why you have to be passionate about, the things you want and to manifest in your life, because I really did do that
Yeah.
without knowing young age.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. It's
anyway,
it's
back
where
to
it
the
all
story.
stems from.
Yeah. So but yeah, basically, watching VHSs and watching my favorite music videos like Janet Jackson and Michael Jackson and Prince and Britney Spears and all of these amazing artists that, were doing incredible music videos. And yeah, and I was still competing in acrobatics, and when I was doing great in acrobatics. I loved it. It was like my passion. It's like Cirque du Soleil, if people don't know. It's like, doing partner work, one on top of each other,
Oh,
and,
I love that stuff. Oh my
handstands.
God, I love that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I can't believe I did some of that stuff, actually. Like, when I was younger, I would fly and be what they call the top, and,
Oh yeah.
they throw you, and I would do, like, double somersaults and land on the basket and one-arm handstands on people's heads. Like, it was crazy. But
Incredible.
then,
Incredible.
yeah, I know. But then when I was 16, I was heading to training one morning and got hit by a car.
Oh my God.
And yeah, it was a very pivotal moment in my journey, because yeah, it was crazy, that experience. Stopped breathing and I was dead for about 3 minutes, and if I was under any longer, it would have been some serious brain damage. So yeah, coming back from that was like, it was a near-death experience, and like, I had a very amazing out-of-body experience, and it was indescribable, really. The feelings that I felt when I wasn't here, but it changed my life, about my perspective on my view of death and what it felt like to essentially die in that moment and come back. It was, yeah, it was ecstasy. It was beautiful. It was indescribable, and I was not of my body, but like moving at the speed of thought, and it just seemed like a lot longer. And then when I came back, luckily the man that hit me stopped the car and got out of the car. And doctors, when I spoke to them at the hospital, they're like, usually that spot you got hit is a hit and run spot, because it's right next to where a bus stop is, and a lot of people jaywalk there. You're very lucky to be alive, kind of thing. And he was saying that you're very lucky he stopped the driver. And so yeah, the driver actually performed CPR on me, and he resuscitated me for 3 minutes, and he checked my mouth, and there was a piece of gum in there, and if he would have performed CPR, I would have choked on that immediately. If he panicked, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm so grateful that he did all the right things, and that he stopped me after that accident. I basically changed into dance. So that was my segue, because I couldn't compete, and I was going to the World Championships, and we couldn't go because I'd injured my ankle, and I was like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And then
So I'll do another physical sport. I'll do dance.
Yeah. We found Saturday courses at Brent Street, going there and taking just open classes. So Saturday classes, jazz, tap, ballet, contemporary hip hop. And I think I did that for, maybe a year or two. Yeah, about a year or two. And then there was a cruise line audition, I guess. Actually, no, it wasn't a cruise line audition. It was Moulin Rouge audition. Yet Diane Heaton was holding the audition.
Right.
And Diane Heaton, she's a lot, Di.
Yeah.
And, well, she came up to me in the audition of the Moulin Rouge, and she was just like, "You're amazing. You're too tall for this job. I'm gonna get you a cruise liner, because you need to be dancing now, and I'm just gonna put you on a cruise liner. There's a cruise liner that's looking for dancers." And I was like, "Wow."
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure, whatever you say, I'm gonna do it.
I get this job, and yeah, you're just talking to me like, sure, like, I would love to do a cruise line. I'd love to work as a professional dancer. And that was, I guess, essentially my introduction into being a professional dancer. I
Yeah.
guess my dreams, like to perform and to dance, and Dahiden gave that to me, and I'm always very grateful. I mean, she came to the show, Olala, the show that I
Oh,
just produced and made, and it was a crazy moment of full circle. And
yeah.
it's like I said thank you so much for giving me that opportunity, because it paved the way for my dance career. Yes, 20, almost like 18 or like 18 years later, I see her again, and it was just like, thank you for giving
Yeah,
me
absolutely. Absolutely.
that
It's
shot.
amazing how people can open the doors for you. That's all it takes.
So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm always grateful,
absolutely.
to die for that, that opportunity. Mm. And then I guess after that cruise liner, I came back and my parents were like, "What do you want to do now?" I want to,
I want to keep
like
going.
get certified and get my certificate for performing arts. And, yeah, and my parents were like, "Are you sure this is what you want to do? Like, I want to do this. I want to perform. I know this is what I'm born to do." And
Yeah.
I remember my mom had a very, um, like stern and very practical conversation. I'm always very grateful for that, because she believes and supports me. She's wants to see that I'm in it 100%.
Yeah.
And so she said to me, it's a cutthroat industry, and that 5 people might be chosen. One out of like hundreds of people, one person will be chosen. And I said to her, well, I'll be that one person. And
Good
she
for
said,
you.
and that's when I knew. And I've supported you ever since. So
Yeah.
because she was like, it's gonna be really hard to win, and I was like, but I'm gonna win.
Good.
Like, I'm gonna
I
do
love
this. Like,
that.
I'm gonna yeah, I'm determined, I'm motivated, I'm inspired, I'm excited, and I'm gonna give it everything I've got.
Yeah.
And then yeah, then I did Brent Street. I auditioned first. I felt, when I got that, I felt like I was in a movie, getting that phone call.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you've, made it into Brent Street full time. I was like, oh my God. I'm so excited. It's going to be like center stage, or, basically any of those, movies at the time, Honey, or it just felt like, I felt like I was in a movie, coming to those doors and seeing everyone in full time, and
Yeah.
them talking to us about like, you might not make it, and some of you will go and be
Big career
dancers,
talks.
and some of you will have big careers. A very small percentage of you will have big careers, but they were keeping it really real with us,
Yeah.
and the way they trained us, all of these amazing Australian dance icons, they gave us all of these powerful tools at
Yeah.
such a young age, which I still use to this day,
Oh,
and which
absolutely.
helped me, in my professional career and all the jobs that I've done all around the world. So it was the first time to have dance family for me, and we all just loved each other so much. And I mean,
Yeah, it's
we
a
had a big
support
year of
network.
90,
Everyone's
so
going through it. It's
yeah,
a nice love.
in all the lessons that I learned,
Hmm.
from all the amazing teachers we had in the industry, and just faculty at Bread Street. And yeah, I just love them all so much, and I'm so grateful for that time, because
Yeah.
it was really a special time. And even for dance as well, that was before YouTube, that was before dance as celebrity,
Yeah.
online. And it was just like everybody in the room was just so passionate about dance, and it wasn't about views or likes or validation or or what's hype, what's in trend. We were just passionate about dance,
It
and
was just pure heart and
passionate
soul,
about
like each day.
yeah
It was just, that was it. And it was such a
yeah.
great environment.
And the support as you said, the support network and system, like, it was really, really powerful. We made each other stronger. We inspired each other.
Yeah.
We lifted each other up. And, you know, if there was competition, it was always very healthy, you know.
Yeah,
It was
absolutely.
never, there was never any drama and malicious, you know, like intent behind it. It was always like team camaraderie.
Yeah,
You know, we'd like encourage each other to be better. You know, we would want each other to be better.
yeah,
And, you know, that's something that, you know, I'm really grateful for in that time, because we really just danced for the love of it, you know.
yeah,
Wasn't That's one thing that I feel that, you know, has changed in dance, as we've evolved and progressed. You know, like, yes, we've become amazing technicians and amazing performers, and that intimacy
mm,
and that connection, I feel like dancers and artists and talent have kind of lost that interaction of like
yeah. I know.
performing for people, to people, not performing at people.
Yeah,
You know, there's a
yeah,
difference performing at someone and performing for them and performing to
absolutely.
them. And I feel like that's one of the key elements that went missing when, you know, YouTube choreographer. These are all my friends, and like I love them and I adore them.
Yeah,
You know, like
yeah,
there's so many amazingly talented. You know, but at the same time, what it does to the masses and to the people that watch is like they like agendas for dancing. Like, oh, I'm going to dance so I can be in this class video. Oh, I
yes,
need to go take class so I can be in this video. You
yeah,
know, but before, like that, as a professional dancer, that was never why I took class.
yeah.
I
It didn't
always took
exist
class
either
to
back then, I
challenge my,
don't think, for us in class anyway. It wasn't,
yeah,
no one ever recorded. We purely just went off what we learnt and bring it the next day, next week, or whatever. But even in pro classes, they weren't filmed. It was purely just
yeah,
everyone got up and yeah, we did different groups and
and
whatever,
performed.
but
And
you know, it's different.
it was just, yeah, I guess like, you know, a way of training where, you know, like it was really about like performing and unlocking something within yourself, you
Yeah,
know, rather than like performing for a camera, to a camera, um, you know, at a camera,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know. So, which is still a really important thing as a professional dancer and artist to learn. I'm not saying that it's not, because it's so
yeah.
important,
Oh, because
you
the
know,
times
because
have
you can't be
changed
like,
now,
oh,
so
when a
that's
camera gets in front of your face, you can't be like, I'm frozen,
yeah,
you know. But at the same time, it's like, you're not creating a safe space
yeah,
for, like, you know, if that's the intention of your class, you're not creating a safe space to like grow or be free and like
yeah,
challenge yourself, do something that feels weird and what you wouldn't do outside of the norm, like do
yeah,
something extraordinary and try it, you
yeah,
know, and see what, and see, you know, and see how it feels for you, and also what other people think of it, you know.
absolutely.
And there's some choreographers that don't film all classes, which is great, you know, and they're like, I'm not filming class today, I just want you guys to, you know, enjoy it, and I want you to, you know, just focus on
Yeah, and how much the energy would
having a
actually
great
shift
time
because
without having,
you know you don't feel that
yeah,
pressure or that
people's more
mentality.
ulterior motives, or like, you know, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, won't be, you know, there anymore. So you're like, oh well, we're not filming, so I might as well just, you know,
yeah,
have fun. And then
yeah,
you see a different side at a different level, and you're like, see, that's exactly why, you know, it's also good not to, you know, make your performance just about a camera or to a camera.
yeah,
Like, you encompass and you interact with people in the room. Like,
yeah,
even when I would take class in Los Angeles, like, you know, that, you know, people go to the front and watch, people go to
yeah,
the front and watch, and we would perform to them. And
yeah,
so I, in class, would practice performing not to one person but to like my friends, instead of
yeah,
like performing to the mirror, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, I would like practice, okay, so this is my time to apply the knowledge that I learned or the steps that I learned in class,
yeah,
and feel comfortable,
yeah,
you know, so that when I go into an audition, I can do exactly the same thing. And that's
yeah,
exactly, you know, in America, you know, I continued my training after full time, because when after full time, I started working here, you know, as a professional dancer,
yeah,
and I had Detour as an agency at that time, and
yeah,
Detour was kind of much, you know, pretty much the best agency and Grey Boy was around too, but you know.
Yeah, I was in Detour as well.
There you go. We were detour buddies. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and so we would do, you know, like I guess, you know, corporate gigs and commercials and stuff like that, and that's what I was like, okay, this is cool. I'm doing it. I'm doing it here,
Hmm.
but my dreams were bigger, and I wanted to move to America, and you know, like I wanted
Yeah.
to pursue, you know, dancing for major artists on, you know, on big stages and
Yeah.
music videos, etc. So I also, you know, wanted to pursue music and singing,
Mm.
and I felt like all of those things were just the opportunities were over in America, you know,
Yeah.
at that time.
Yeah.
So
And do you feel like it helped you
I
grow as a
definitely was
performer? Like being in LA, do you feel like
absolutely.
once you moved there, it was just such a different vibe and all of those things?
Yeah, well, actually, in America, that's where I continued my dance training, as I was saying.
Mm.
Um, and I learned a lot about dance history, like a lot, you know, when it comes to like foundations and foundational hip hop, fundamental hip hop, like the origins, how it started in the clubs, you know, the
Yeah.
names of each, you know, dance step that you would probably see in any, you know, modern day commercial music video, etc. And then like learning from the people that were there
Yeah.
in the 90s that, you know, were part of that dance culture, like Kenneth. He's one of my favorite dance teachers. I
Yeah.
just love his class because A, he whips your butt when
Yeah.
you get out of that, you know, that class like drenched in sweat.
Yep. Yep.
And then also he's, you know, he's teaching you old school fundamental grooves that, you know, are repeated. And so it's like a cardio workout, you
Yeah.
know, so, and essentially you're learning vocabulary. Yeah, so I would train at Debbie Reynolds, which is rest in peace, Debbie Reynolds, and
Yeah.
also the place. Like it was so special
Mm.
training there, you know. And I train at Millennium sometimes,
Yeah.
mainly at Debbie Reynolds. I just loved Debbie Reynolds just
Yeah.
because of like the dance fam that I made there with the choreographers and
Hmm.
they were like my friends, and
Yeah.
you know I would always support them and take their classes like Andy J and Gian, Lee Daniels,
Hmm.
who else? Tony Czar.
Yeah.
These are all, you know, my dance fam and friends that I would like take class and we'd hang out, and you
Yeah.
know we'd do performances together in carnival pieces, and you know we were just part of that dance community, and
Yeah.
I feel like I learned so much from them, and and just so many other industry professionals that I worked with, you know,
Mm.
just on jobs and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So, um,
Because how
and it's
long were you living
also
there
America
for?
is a melting pot. 10 years.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's a melting pot of like the greatest dancers or the greatest performers, etc., on earth, you know.
Mm.
And so you're in class with these people all the time, and you know you're seeing them performing in their element, and it just inspires you to like activate and unlock more things within yourself
Yeah,
because you
absolutely.
have such a high standard around you. You learn to evolve, you know, quickly, and
Mm.
also you you grow very quickly because of the people that surround you.
Absolutely.
Mm. So that's what I feel like, you know, I received in my freelance training in America, because that's what I did. I did a lot of freelance and, you know, taking classes everywhere. And I would take four or five classes a day when I first
Yeah.
moved there.
That's what's awesome about
You know,
America
because
is that there's classes all day. It's not just one, it's so there's really like there's never an excuse when you're over there to be like, oh, I didn't make class. It's like that's okay. There's one in another hour. Like,
you
go to
just make it,
that.
yeah, there's another one in an hour. Or we could just go to Millennium, or, you know, we could go
Yeah,
to,
exactly.
oh, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, or ML. But see, yeah, it's crazy now because like a lot of them have closed, you know, and Movement Lifestyle and Debbie Reynolds and The Edge.
Yeah.
So
I
crazy.
know. I went to
In
the
that
edge
time was
for a
like
bit.
we would hop from, yeah, that was like, it's great. Edge was great. was great for technique, and you know, also like some of the dopest choreographers, you know, would teach there as well. I would take classes there.
Yeah.
Kevin Maher, who's also a really good friend and mentor. Tavares Wilson, who's also just amazing. Wow, just incredible. And yeah, so class definitely helped my evolution.
Yeah.
Also, being in America where you're able to collaborate and, you know, vibe and dance with just the best in the world, it
Absolutely.
really pushes you to a level of dance. And that's, you know, that's something that I definitely received in America. And, you know, because before I moved to America, I was very much a technical dancer. I mean, I could freestyle, like, you know, commercial or a dance job. You know, freestyle was something that I'd always shy away from because I didn't have as much training in
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah.
when I went to America, there was plenty of opportunity for that. You know, plenty of ciphers, plenty of like, you know, like house parties, and
Yeah.
you know,
And it's
there
the
was just
vibe there
yeah,
because
like,
that's what
or
they
even just
do. They thrive off that, you know, and that's good training in that
mm,
regard because it also, I think, when you kind of have to
yeah,
just improvise, it's a confidence thing because you're breaking out of that comfort zone where we're trained dancers,
yeah,
so we're just happy to be told what to do, you know, and be like, I want to feel it, I want to be me, but I'm happy to do what I'm told to do. Whereas when it comes to be
yeah,
like, all right, you're on your own, off you go, it's like, I don't know what to do. It's a very scary place to
yeah,
be in unless, you know, like you get that training or you're just open to it more and exposed to it more, which is awesome. And that's what America is like over there. They allow you the freedom to
yeah.
express yourself, you know.
Absolutely. And that's, yeah. And, you know, there's a lot of, you know, amazing experiences I've had in dance over in America. And, you know, whether it be working on a job for an artist or, you know, just even being at like an event or a party that someone in the industry has organized, you know,
Yeah.
and they have like, for example, I don't know, just random thing off the top of my head. I remember like just a performance I saw of another amazing friend and mentor of mine, Brian Friedman, and he performed Slave in the middle of like Hollywood for a fashion event,
Yeah.
and we were just all there, like supporting, and like, you know, some of the great, you know, some of the other greats were performing, like Tina Landon, like she was on stage as well, like who was another amazing mentor and friend of mine, like, and watching performances like that, like, you know, you're like, whoa, I'm in LA.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like, and you watching them do, you know, Britney Spears' "Slave for You," like like homaging it, you know, and it's all of the dancers that were on that tour.
Yeah.
They've all been, you know, pulled out of like their, you know, choreography jobs and all of that stuff, and like brought into, you know, a space, and then they perform a number like that, and you're like, wow, like, you know. And that's just one example of just like
Yeah.
so many events and
Oh,
things that I've
absolutely.
been to in America, and you just like and we're back, ladies and
And
gentlemen.
we're back. Okay.
Where was I?
After you saw I guess once you realized, you know, well, here I am, I'm right here, Hollywood, LA, like just watching everybody perform and
Mm,
things like that, just watching the greats. I think watching the greats and being a part of that.
yeah, absolutely. And then, you know, later, like, you know, going to these auditions with, you know, just thousands and thousands of people there lining out the door,
Wow.
you know, for one job, thousands of auditions. And, you know, you don't always win. And that's something that, you know, in the industry, like, is a very difficult lesson for a lot of artists to learn, because, you know, when you apply for a job and then someone doesn't take you, it's an automatic reaction to question your self-worth, you
Yeah.
know, because like, why am I not good enough? Am I not
Yeah.
this? But, you know, the more I auditioned, the more I really realized that, you know, it's not even about, you know, whether I'm perfect or not for this job. It's whether or not this job is for me and it's
Yeah,
going to go by me.
that's
Because
right.
if it's not for you, it won't go by you.
No, that's
And it
it.
doesn't matter if you're the best dancer in the room and the job's not for you, you're not going to get it. And you just have to be okay with that. There's so many opportunities for you to go and audition for, which is great. But
Yeah.
there's also so many opportunities for you to be told no to.
Yes,
You know?
that's right.
And
And I think sometimes it's more so if we're thinking about ratio, it's almost like you get more
yeah,
no's than the
more.
yeses. So you've got to be okay with it, like you said before. Look, you've got to learn to be okay
Yeah,
with it and not question your self-worth either, because it's got nothing to do with you per se. It's the job. It's the, you know, if it involves travel, it could be visas, it could whatever it
costume
is, you know.
could be hair color. You know, like they have a specific look and they're looking for that, and
Yeah.
that goes with their aesthetic or whatever. You know, you just don't know what a client is looking for, so
No.
you can never get. I feel like, you know, living there, that was the hardest lessons to learn, I guess. There's nothing you can do about it, so you
It's
just
out
got to
of your
keep moving and
control.
keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You just, I
and
guess
so
the passion drives you constantly, though, you know, and I always say, you know, if we weren't passionate about what we do and what we did or how we're doing it now, it's almost like it just, you won't go anywhere, as in moving forward, or grow, because, you know, I mean, it's the passion that drives us because we're all heart and soul when it comes to doing
that's
what we
very,
do.
yeah, you have to be 110% in it, you know, and that's what you realize. You know, you have to be in it, and you have to be okay to walk away from it too, and go, well, if I don't get this, that's okay too. But
Yeah,
I'm gonna act, and I'm gonna work, and I'm gonna do my due diligence to make sure that I do everything in my power to, you know, do the best that I possibly can. You know,
absolutely.
that's your job. But you know, I feel like LA gave me those powerful tools on like how to survive in the industry, how to thrive in the industry, but also how to act in the industry. You know, I didn't just move to LA just for dance. You know, I moved there for music too, and
Yeah.
um, you know, like working with all kinds of different producers, and um, you know, I learned a lot about the
Oh,
industry
wow.
as well
Yeah,
when
of
it, you know,
course.
being signed and yeah, to a manager and stuff like that. You know, you learn immediately that as an artist, you become a product, and
Yeah.
they essentially own that product, and you know, you don't have as much freedom as, you know, you might have thought.
Mm,
You know, especially when you sign contracts. You know,
yeah.
uh, usually 360 deals. You know, in that time were very normal, and um, you know, basically you sign your name away, you sign your
Mm,
music rights away, you sign everything away,
yeah.
and that's just normal standard procedure. And
Mm,
you know how much the industry has changed now, you know, in so many different ways. I'm so grateful for that. But yeah, in America, I felt like I learned a lot by the managers and, you know, the labels that I was working with.
yeah.
Because you know, there was moments where I was nearly signed to Warner Brothers,
Mm,
and so I feel like, yeah, I learned so much about the industry in all aspects just by living there, and
yeah.
you know, getting hands-on work experience, and you know, meeting new people, and um, just kind of, you know, developing my craft in anywhere I found that I
Yeah.
could, you know, whether it be from learning about more from my managers, or like asking really important, you know,
Yeah.
for yourself and marketability.
Well, it's a
So yeah,
different,
and you know, apply
totally
it home to
different realm
Australia.
though, isn't it? Like, I mean, if you step out of the dancing realm into
Mm.
producing and music and all of those things, it's just such a different world, I think, altogether.
They definitely are different, because you still need the same, you know, frame of mind when you go into like
Yeah.
music and etc. You know, it's definitely a different part of the brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like you're thinking about songwriting, and like, you know, being in the studio and not feeling nervous about getting in front of, like, I feel like back in the day, like, I didn't love, you know, going
Mm.
into that big recording studio room and, you know, having to like stand there, and then they press the button and they're like, okay, so you're gonna do your vocal now, you know, and like the button goes off, so you know that it's just you in the room. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was just like it was interesting recording like that, because before I moved to America, like, you know, I was just recording in friends' studios, like
Yeah.
in their homes that they set up, you know, which was really dope, and I actually prefer to do that.
Oh.
It was a cool, yeah, it was a cool experience though. I
Yeah.
must admit, you know, like you know, it's like, wow, you know, I'm living in LA and I'm living the recording studio life, you know, at
Yes.
Capitol Records, or, you know.
I think living over here as well, it feels so far away. You know, like we're so far away from everyone.
Yes,
But
it
the
is,
fact
yeah.
that, you know, it comes from,
Mm,
you know, having a dream and then being there and fulfilling that, I think it is a very surreal experience. And it's one that I think you've taken so graciously as well in everything. Like you've literally just been a sponge the whole time. You've been there, you've absorbed, you worked hard, you know, and then it's almost like it just brought out so many other layers of you that you, I guess you wanted to create for so long. And I think it's just helped you grow. Because obviously, like we know each other from way back when anyway, but it's like I just think that all of those experiences would have really, really helped you just be in that moment and go, wow, I'm here. But you also were thinking that and then going, now I'm going to go there. Now what can I do with this? You know, and I just think
yeah,
that's awesome as well. You know, it's not just something that just happened to you. You've
yeah,
really taken it in your stride.
yeah. That's exactly the mentality that I, you know, went to America with. Like, I'm gonna be a sponge. You know, I'm just gonna, because there's no limit to learning. Knowledge is infinite, you
Oh,
know. So
absolutely.
that's that's what, you know. I was like, well, if it's infinite, let's go. You know,
Yeah.
come on, like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I'm
learn
ready.
everything. I'm gonna learn everything in the industry. Tell me all about it. Tell me you know, tell me about this. Tell me about that. You know, and like working with, like, you know, these amazing mentors that I, you know, worked with, and like professional choreographers in the industry. I would just always, you know, ask all the questions. It's like, what was it like doing this, and like
Yeah. As you
doing
should. You're there.
that
Like, I mean,
performance?
you
Tell me what it
should.
was like to be a part of that. And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, like, you know, I'm interested to know. And, you know, like, also, you know, just like listening to listening, there's so much power in listening, and like listening to choreographers and, you know, the people that are creating the vision create, just by listening and like paying attention to how their process is and what it is. Like, it
Absolutely.
really helps you
Yeah.
as an artist, because you see how these creators are creating, and
Mm.
there's many different ways, and everyone has their own kind of style. There's
Yeah.
no rules.
Yeah, no,
And, you
never.
know, you bring it along with your team, and, you know, you can, like, there's all kinds of, like, you know, cool ways to grow as, you know, a group, and each choreographer has their own different methods. And, you know, I feel like I'm just so grateful to have learned from you know, the people that I learned from, because the people that I wanted to learn from, build my own, and you know, multiply that for myself. That's something that I've always wanted to do, is to create my own shows, to have my own shows, to um, songwrite, you know, produce. You know, that's these are all things that were the next step for a dancer. You
Yeah.
know, for a dancer and an entertainer and a singer. You know, because, you know, you start off dancing and singing, and then, you know, your passion becomes invested in your craft, and you're learning all these new skills and trades, and then like,
Yeah.
oh, I can apply these too. You know, I
Yeah.
can. Yeah, just so grateful for that time in LA too. but also really happy to be home in Australia right now.
Yeah.
Because
This is true.
I definitely, you know, because I was definitely trying, yeah, I was definitely working really hard to get back to LA, you know, and this would have been my fourth O1 visa.
Yeah.
And it was definitely the most difficult to apply for, you know. There are visas that I, you know, apply for and get back within maybe 3 weeks or a month.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I was back in Los Angeles, you know,
Yeah.
and back to it. I never spent very long here in Australia. I felt like I was constantly jumping through these hoops. Like my attorney was like, "Oh, you need an article from Los Angeles, you
Oh,
know, someone needs to do a write-up." I was like,
uh,
"Okay, let me try and figure that out." So, you know, I got the write-up, and then
yeah.
it's like, we need another letter of recommendation. Even though you've given us 4 recommendations, we need another one. Okay,
Oh
great. So I'm doing
gosh.
this, and it's like, okay, so the laws have changed again. We need to
Yeah.
get you some more jobs on there. And I was like, but I have jobs on my deal memo. Like, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I have an amazing deal memo from Brian Friedman, and like I
Yeah.
have all of these letters from all of these amazing people, and it's still not enough.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened,
Yeah.
and I was like, wow, I'm really glad that I wasn't in America when all this went down, because I
Yeah.
would have been, you know, as like everybody in the industry at that time, like we all lost our job,
Yeah.
like, you know, our performers, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I really feel like, you know, it was the universe's way of saying like, stay home. There's so many, you know, in Australia, right? There's so
Mm.
many talented dancers and
Mm.
not enough platforms for them to stand on,
Yeah.
you
Agree.
know. So I want to be a part of changing that and like creating more platforms for people to stand on, because so many talented dancers here that, you know, don't have an industry to go into. It's a very small industry here in Australia. Like we do need to build it and, you know,
Yeah.
come together more as a community. And, you know, there's so many things we could learn from Los Angeles, you know, when in that aspect, when it comes to like community and
Absolutely.
mentorship, collaboration, um, you know, just coming together really.
Coming
And
together and building it up, building each other up, and you know, just I guess just that whole expansion as well. I just think it can be endless, you know. But I feel sometimes it feels very limited here,
mm,
and I don't think it
mm,
needs to be. Personally, I don't
yeah,
think it needs to be. I think we have everything
yeah,
we can,
yeah,
you know, like in order to expand. So I think it's just
yeah.
to the people that want to do that and bring it together to do that for everybody as well.
You know, collaborate with your peers and like, you know, create stuff, you know, and also empower each other, support each other, go and, you know, watch the shows and
Yes.
your friends' performances, and,
Yeah.
you know, be, if they ask you to be in it, be in it, you know, like just for the love of it, and, you know,
Yeah.
not expect a paycheck, etc. Like, you know, there's so many I don't know, like there's so many valuable lessons, as I said, that, you know, I learned in America that I'd like to multiply here, that I'd
Yeah,
like to, you know,
absolutely.
bring more to Australia, like, and also, you know, creating more shows. As you know, you came to watch Oh La
Yeah.
La at the Bedouin, and, you know, that's my first cabaret show in Australia that I've, you know, produced. So I want to make more, you know. That's
Yeah.
one
And you
opportunity
should,
for
because it was
dancers to
so
have.
entertaining. It was so entertaining and wonderful, and
Yeah.
it had so many different aspects in there. Like it was just, it was lovely. And I mean, that's what I was going to ask you. I mean, like, how did it come about? Was it just almost like, you know, the penny dropped and you thought, this is what I have to do? Or has this been something that has been, you know, coming together slowly?
I've had, you know, ideas to, like, you know, for other kinds of shows, but I've always had a vision to like create shows. And this one specifically, this cabaret show, happened because the owner, Eric Jury, of the Bedouin, like he's a great family friend, longtime family friend. We've just reconnected again.
Yeah.
Um, my father and his father used to do business a long time ago, and we randomly saw each other on Red Leaf Beach.
Yeah.
And I walked up to him. My business partner said hello to him first.
Yeah.
And I looked at him and was like, I know you. Is your name Eric Jury? And he's like, yes. And I was like, you used to take care of me when I was a kid, carry me on your shoulders, you know, like,
Yeah.
he's like, what are you
Wow.
doing with life? You know, I'm just, I'm just creating. I've got music coming out, and I'm making a show I've made a show for my business partner here, Generation Men. It's a male review show that
Yeah.
I'm in, and I'm just focusing on making more shows. And he's like, well, I want a show. And then
And that's always good to
and
hear. It's
then we
like,
went in for a meeting.
sure.
Yeah, he was like, oh yeah, come in for a meeting. We'd love something like that at the Bedouin. Like, I've been looking for something like that, you know. That show, Oh La La, was birthed and conceptualized just from seeing that space.
Yeah.
You know, it
Wow.
was just looking at that environment and going, this is exactly what would be great here, you know, a
Yeah.
burlesque show.
Yeah.
But not just any burlesque show, a burlesque show that no one's seen before, you know, an homage to some of the greatest moments in cabaret history, you know, where we're homaging moments from the original movie Cabaret, you know, with Liza Minnelli. Have, you know,
Yeah.
a number that, you know, a, a tap number, like, you know, that is inspired by the Nicholas brothers. And we, you know, have some Moulin Rouge in there.
Yes.
And we have, you know, a little bit of Crazy Horse in there. We have a little bit of, you know, we have a Michael MJ medley. We have a Prince moment, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just a great adventure. And so, building that show has, like, I've been wanting to build a show for many years. I
Yeah.
didn't know what kind of show, you know.
Yeah.
And so the first one I got to do was with Damien for Generation Men, which is a male review show.
Yeah.
Damien, my business partner, he was one of the original Thunders from Down Under.
All right.
So
Okay.
he, you know, was in Vegas, and we just had an amazing rapport. I mean, combined forces, and, you know, I brought him in as a business partner for Oh La La
Right.
because
Okay.
I knew that I couldn't build that show just by myself.
Yeah.
You know, it was definitely worth it. And it was definitely a fun adventure. And there was a lot of sleepless nights, me rhinestoning things myself onto the gloves,
Oh
you know,
gosh.
sewing headdresses. Like, I'm like, things that I never thought I'd be doing. I'm like, okay, I'm like sewing a
Yes.
headdress because I'm the only person that's going to do this in my show, you know. But, now in the costume department.
Yes. Yeah.
It was also really, like, exciting because, you know, all of the TV shows that I've worked on and, like, the artists I've danced for and all of these, like, amazing lessons I'd learned, finally I could apply in a show,
Yes.
you know. And in my own show, I just wanted to create something where it would take the viewer on an adventure and
And
feel
it
like they
definitely
would
does.
get great, you know, like, escape the norms of reality, you know, and come into this world of cabaret.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's what, you know, I'm just really happy that, you know, it turned out the way, that sense of accomplishment, you know, that
Yeah.
feeling like achievement. I was like, wow, I did it. You know, I
Yes.
got it from out in here and I put it out there, you
Yeah.
know. And so, yeah,
And
yeah,
it's a
it was
really good
something that I've
feeling.
always
It's a
wanted to
really
do.
good feeling for you. It's another dream, you
Mm.
know, like it's another, like you said, it's an accomplishment.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
important, you know, it's so good for you.
In my due diligence to make sure that I give myself the best opportunity to make that happen, you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. And you should, I think it's just, it's encouraging for a lot of people who, you know, may watch this back later and just to understand that, you know, sometimes we can be discouraged. if things aren't happening the way we want them to happen or when they want to happen. But I think the goal and the key is to always keep striving for it, and to whatever feels right for you and things that you have envisioned for yourself. It's also like, just keep pushing towards
Mm.
that, because someone will open that door and someone will see that same vision with you
Mm.
and support you. And I think that's what you found as well. As you've been creating the show, it's like you've had people come through to you to be like, yeah, I
Yeah.
want this, I want that, I want you to come in. And I think that's all it takes. It just takes that. Again, it goes back to passion. It goes back to all of those wonderful things that we started with. And then it's amazing what we can,
Mm.
I don't know, what comes out of it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah, and I'm just excited for this year, 2021. I have, two shows now, which is great. I want to keep developing Olala and make it bigger.
Yeah.
And I've got music coming out this year, so it's like
Oh, wow. How
all this fun
exciting.
stuff is like finally coming to fruition for me, you know,
Yeah.
and it's nice, that nice, because I always thought that I would be building these shows in Los Angeles, like all this applied knowledge. I was like, oh, I'm going to just do it over there because that's just where I've been building.
Yeah.
But no, the universe wanted, to me to bring this abundance here to Australia. I feel like to build here so I can create more opportunities here at home,
Yeah.
and where dancers need it more. 'Cause, like, for me, it's just like I want to be able to create more opportunities at home for more, for talent as well, because that there's just so much talent here. It baffles me.
I
I'm
know.
always so amazed when I go and take a random class or something like that, and then just like see the standard in Australia.
Yeah.
It's really high.
Yeah.
The standard in Australia, like we make amazing entertainers. We make
Yeah.
amazing performers and dancers, like technical geniuses. Like look at like Michael Domesky over in that.
Yeah.
That's just some of many of the amazing talent you think about. Like all of the amazing talents that have come from Australia, and it's
Absolutely.
it's incredible.
Yeah, I think I agree. And I just think like what you're doing and what you're bringing through to everyone, even, even just saying it now, how you want to create so much more for everyone here. I just think that is it's just so wonderful. So wonderful because, again, not a lot
Mm.
of people do that. Everyone just goes with the flow and goes to see what the new year will bring, but you're actually creating it. And I think that is huge.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we all like to sit back and go,
And I hope it inspires more people to do that, right?
yeah, that's right. A lot of people,
Yeah.
a lot of people
But I
have it.
feel like I hope it inspires others to like do more, because there's a lot of amazing, talented choreographers and creators out here too.
Yeah,
And if coronavirus has taught us one thing, it would be to care for one another as a community,
yes, yes,
to think, to grow as a community, and to not take dance for granted, not take
yeah,
performing for granted. Because for
yeah.
me as a teacher, like to be in a room to share with the people in the room is so important.
Oh, yeah,
That's connection, and like speaking to them and giving them tools there and then, like to maybe try and help them, or let them feel more free and
yeah,
relax more and
absolutely.
enjoy themselves, and create a space like that's something that we need more of.
Yeah, and just to get the vibe high again, like because it's something that was lost for a long time, I think, and then slowly as things started coming back up and open again, it was nice to see people come through. It was nice to see people. I mean, because even for myself, like I've mentioned this before, but even I think when we went into lockdown and we were teaching via Zoom and things like that, and then going into the first class back and just being amongst that energy was just like mind blowing, because everyone missed it and everyone just wanted to do more and be a part of it more. And I just thought, this is what
Yeah,
it's taught us. It's taught us that, what we love and what we do, and how we do it, it's who we are. And I just think that, again, like you said, creating spaces for people to do that, creating a place for people that do study and then want to go and perform, like things like that, creating that here is huge. It's huge. And again, it's about
yeah,
community. It's
yeah.
about coming together and banding together, because I mean, we can't. I think the more we support each other, it's just huge. It's so much better than being in competition with one another. Or I just don't think that exists anymore. I really hope it
We
doesn't.
don't need to. We don't need to. We honestly, yeah. The thing is, like, we don't need to. Like, we're in it together. We
Yeah,
forget as a dance community, where we as dance community are essentially in it together. It's our industry. It's our, it's our community. So
yeah,
why wouldn't you want to support one another to help the whole industry thrive?
that's right. Yeah, you're not helping just
That,
yourself. You're helping
and
so
that's
many more people.
yeah. I feel like like the coronavirus has also given us so many amazing, insightful lessons as a collective,
Yeah,
as dancers, as performers. Like, because wow, I know that, like, when we were in isolation, like those moments, just like, I miss performing, I miss dancing,
yes.
I miss sharing energy and like all of these things. It's like you take them for granted and you don't think that you do,
Mm.
until something like that happens.
It's something that I think has shifted everybody into
Mm,
a deeper way of living within themselves. And
mm.
well, I hope so, but
Yeah,
again,
yeah,
like you said, it's just all about the lessons learnt and not taking things for granted. And
mm,
as well, because we are all so creative, and I think going back to you and your show and being brave to bring something out when people think that, like, how can I say this? Of, like people saying no entertainment, no fun, really, no talent. And then you're going, well, I have a show, and then having, that
mm.
bravery within yourself to go, people are going to come and watch it because people need entertainment. People need that feel good right now. And I think it just takes a lot, even just that, just to create, be brave and put it out there. And also, like I said before, someone opening the door for you to say, have it here. I think
Yeah,
this time, I mean, I know what it was like being in the room and the energy in the room of the show. And I just thought, oh my gosh, it just goes to show how
yeah,
much we don't get to go out and do this and watch live entertainment. Other than going to
yeah,
a musical, and you're in a theater and things like that,
mm.
that's fine because that's amazing too. But just, I don't know, you guys are so like up close and personal as well. Like it's right there in front of you. And I think everyone loved it. Like I can personally say myself, I loved it so much that, again, this is something that is needed.
I agree, absolutely. And it's just, yeah, it's nice to have dinner as well, right? Like, I feel like that was something that, I wanted to stress as, like, I wanted it to be experience. So,
Yeah.
like, they should have dinner,
Yeah.
and should sit down and, have that experience first. And then, then the show
Yeah.
begins. So, you
Yeah. The
get wine,
entertainment comes
dine,
through.
and then then the show is like bang, and then now all of a sudden you're at a show. And,
Yeah.
so I really, I think that creating opportunities now, like especially now, because all people have realized how important and special
Yeah.
music and the performing arts are,
Mhm.
and life really can't, you can't just say, oh, who needs the performing arts, because
Yeah.
the performing arts is the television that you watch, the
Yes.
performing arts is the magazine that you read, performing arts, the art museum that you go to,
The
you know,
music you
the performing
hear.
arts
Like,
that you hear every day, you know, on
yeah.
the radio, or, you know, walking in that cafe. That's you, the our life is in drenched in the arts, the performing arts, and it is a huge part and facet of who we are as humans. We are expressive beings,
Yeah.
and art is an expression. So, you know, that's a gift, you know,
Yeah.
and people realize that more now when it's taken away from you, you know. Oh, you can't go watch this, you can't
Yeah.
go, you know, go to that because of, you know, these restrictions. And then you go, wow, like I it makes you realize, you know, how special it is, you know,
Yeah.
how much you love it. And then when you go and experience it, you're like, wow, you know,
I want
you
more
don't
of
you don't take
this.
it for granted anymore. And it's like a rebirth, right? Like you're like,
Yeah.
wow, you see it with fresh eyes and you see how important it is. And I
Yeah.
really think that's what's going on now. It's like the artist renaissance, the modern day artist renaissance, you know, the resurfacing, or a re-evolution of, you know, the modern day renaissance, where, you know, I feel like there are going to be a lot of people creating things now because we have had to experience what we experienced, you
Yeah.
know. That's how art is created, from struggle and hardships and tough times and,
Yeah.
you know, isolation.
Yes. What can I
So
do in my
that's,
time?
you know, that's what
Yeah.
I'm really excited for this, because, you know, like I feel like this is the age of the artist, you know, the age of the artist, because
Yeah.
we were told that our industry was shut down, and that and it was probably the death of our industry.
Yeah.
Now, not for one second did I believe that.
Yeah. You're
You
like,
know, as soon
no.
as I heard, oh, you know, oh, this could be the death of it, and we was like, no, that's crazy, because, you know, that's saying that, like, just don't carry on with life, because
Yeah.
everything, you know, about the performing arts is in your life, whether you want to admit it or not. Like, it is.
Yeah.
Like, I can tell you, like, if you say, oh no, the arts isn't a part of my life, I could probably tell you or prove to you in one way that you've done something in your day that involves the arts,
That's
you know.
right. Yeah.
So
I love
it's
that.
crazy to think that, you know, like, oh, you're a barista, and it's like, I had a coffee. I was like, well, a barista is also an artist too.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, like, it's like, you
Yeah.
know, who do you think makes the love hearts on your coffee? You know, do you want just like do you want just a normal, like, cappuccino with no, like, artwork?
Oh,
Like,
your
you're gonna
instant
ask me to
home?
take yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like, that's like, you know, for me, it's like, you know, the arts will never die, you know,
No.
as long as
No way.
things are alive, the arts will never die. They'll just be it'll just be a new form or a new way of
Yeah.
expressing art, you know. Like, okay, maybe we're not able to exactly how we've seen, like, yeah, okay, maybe we're not able to physically be there,
Yeah.
but I can watch something online, you know, I can watch it
Yeah.
online. And, you know, just even to have that opportunity, you know, I've seen even more, like, for example, the dance industry.
Yeah.
Now, I don't even have to be in LA to take a class from a Los
Yeah.
Angeles choreographer anymore.
That's right.
I could just take a class online and take one of my, you know, like, my mentor's dance classes that are available all the time,
Yeah.
you know. You know, the benefits and the repercussions of that, you know, in the not too distant future, from the up and coming kids, and,
Yeah.
you know, the evolution of dance is going to evolve again. Like, you know, we're going to see another rise and another wave, and it's an exciting time for the artist.
I think so. I agree with you. And
Yeah.
again, I just think, yeah, I agree on all levels because we're all in it. You know,
Mhm.
we're all in it. We're all creating and
Yeah.
we're all putting our
Yeah.
stuff out there, you know, as creators.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, like I said, again, but having live entertainment again, it was very refreshing, you know, because again, you don't want to get used to just looking at
Yeah.
things through the screen. But the amazing thing about that is how times have changed
Oh,
and how we can still stay connected in a way which is amazing.
yes.
But I
Yes.
just, yeah,
Which is
I don't
amazing.
know. it's such a different time. And I think with these times, you either jump on board or you don't. And it's a shame if you don't, because then it's like there is so
Yeah.
much to create in this space of this new time that it's like we can do it and we can create amazing things.
Yeah.
Everyone just has to be a part of it, as well. But
Yes.
I think, yeah, I was going to ask you as
Yeah.
well,
Exactly.
being a part of the show with Ooh La La, how did you feel about being a part of it as well as being the creator of it?
It was really freaking cool, to
Yeah.
be honest. It was really cool because usually when you're doing a job or when you're on a show, like someone else is making those decisions.
Yes.
But I'm making those decisions. So I don't have anyone telling me, oh, you can't do that. Oh, that's too much of this. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm the one that's like, oh, okay, so I'm the boss. Okay, yep. So yeah, no, I'm happy with that part, or
Yeah.
do this part again, or etc. Like it was actually really rewarding and fun for me. Like sometimes, like it was a little bit like overwhelming for my brain when like I had to like sit out and
Yeah.
like, do the cleaning notes and then throw in for myself. But it was all fine. It was all part of the job and I got it done.
Yeah.
So it was, it was a challenge, but it was a challenge I was willing and ready to accept.
Yes. Yeah.
And
And do you think every show that you create, or even when you expand Ooh La La
yeah,
and wherever you may go, because I don't want you to do any
very,
spoilers for anyone, will you still stay in it, or would you put somebody else or expand the cast?
well, yeah, I think that I'm going to probably eventually, not right now because I love it too much, but
Yeah, of
eventually
course.
recast myself. Yeah, like I want to be able to build more shows and move forward and like, create more things. But it doesn't mean that I want to, stop all of that. I would just,
Oh gosh, no. Please don't.
hire someone to, fill those shoes and I continue building other things. But yeah, I love Orla. I love the show, and yeah, um there's no rush to look for a replacement just
No,
yet.
absolutely
But
not.
I
No.
definitely plan, at one day, like, have the show go on building other new shows.
Yeah. How exciting.
Yeah.
Exciting times.
Yeah,
I'm excited
it
for you,
is.
and I'm
Yeah.
excited to come and see more.
Uh, yeah, you have to come watch it again. And I'm planning to add more stuff to the show too. So
Yeah. Awesome. That's so cool. I'm
a
just
couple
so
more
happy, and I'm just
little
so proud
special
of you.
moments. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for having me on here. Like it's nice to like
Yes.
talk to you again after all these years and reconnect. And
I
you know,
know.
yeah,
That was a fun moment
it's
because I remember Beck going, Dick, I was like, yes. We
yeah, yeah,
have.
we've definitely geeked together. we've we've been in
Yeah.
the
Oh my gosh, it was so funny. But again, I think it's just so nice how we can reflect on what's been and go. It's just so nice. Like we've all done a bit of a full circle in our lives and just
yeah,
reconnected again. And I just think how wonderful is that, of just reconnection, and
yeah,
broadening that. I just think it's so nice. And again, we're all
yeah,
working together. We're all still working together, you know.
yeah,
So I love that.
yeah.
I love that about our
Me
industry.
too. Yeah, and the full circle has really been like the tune for me. Like so
Mm,
many things have been like, wow, full circle, wow, full circle. This show is definitely full circle, and
yes.
like seeing you again is full circle, and to come back and like to reflect and think about how we were, then, and
Mm,
like how I am now, and to
yeah.
look back and go, wow, I really did fulfill. It's just like different chapters,
Yep.
different chapters of you know, the story.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we've got so many more chapters to fill.
Mm.
It's only just beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my love. Well, I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm going to let you
Uh,
enjoy the rest of the day.
yes, we'll do it again. Lots more to talk about. Thank you so much again for having me.
You're welcome. I hope you all enjoyed that interview just as much as I did. And if you want to see more of my content and all of my newest uploads and guest interviews, then be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell. And I can't wait to share so much more with you. And don't forget that you can also see all of my articles, my written articles, on my website at uncensoredandreal.net. And I'm going to link everything down below for you. And there's also a free community group that you can join. So again, you can be involved in all the up and coming events for 2021. So until next time, I'll see you then.